College captain, number 9, Zach Walls, number 11, Sean Kennedy, number 18, Kate Wilkinson, and number 20, Jordan Sutosa. Head coach of the Saints, Sean Ross.
Welcome to the Glenn Johnston Athletics Center here at Fanshawe College. We got the men's volleyball game between the St. Clair Saints and the Fanshawe Falcons. Both teams coming into the season, sitting into tonight, I should say, at 1-1 on the season. Got a rematch of the bronze medal game from the OCAA championships last year. Falcons taking that bronze medal home. After an impressive 14-4 season, they are trying to repeat some of that magic this year. While St. Clair, I mean, good enough to make the playoffs, not the season that they would have hoped for last year at 6-12, but for a 6-12 team to make it to the bronze medal game and go home in 4th place, not that terrible of a result. We're ready for the serve to start the game. Played off from the left side, bounced off the shoulder, kept in bounds, and right off the bat, we got one off the ceiling. A quick 1-0 Falcons lead. My name is Dan McCracken. I will be your play-by-play commentator tonight. I will play the role of a man not distracted by the Blue Jays World Series game tonight. It's going to be tough to not keep my eye on that score as we go along tonight. That one played outside, off the block, but just out of bounds. A good wall built by the Falcons there, but a little bit of an unlucky break. 1-1 early here in the first set. Jonas Sertasi will head back to serve. I know for our camera angle we got set up tonight, that one just a little bit out of your view. Apologies for that. Battle at the net there. Going up strong, right into the middle, kept alive. A nice rally going early here, and that one looked like it got fingertips. It did, point for the Falcons. Tanner Patterson will head back to serve. Entering his final season with the Falcons, he is now the all-time franchise record holder for most points in a career. He just set that a couple games ago to start the season. He also holds the record for most kills in Fanshawe Falcons history, so quite the mighty career that Tanner Patterson has put up here with the Falcons. That one goes to the Saints, tied at 2 here. Set for the serve. Just off the net, good recovery. Played over and off of the hands. Point for the Falcons as Oliver Prentice unleashed a rocket. That has been a bit of the dominant trio to start the year for the Falcons. Tanner Patterson, Oliver Prentice, and Colin Hutchison having a great start. But we got Jaden Crowther getting some more action so to start the game tonight. He's only made a couple small appearances early in this season. Oh, a bit of an awkward play there. Little bit of confusion, out of sorts. That one will go to the Saints. Back and forth, tied at 3 now. Cale Wilkinson also having a strong start to the season, coming off a 13-kill, 18-point match, but sends that one too long. The Falcons opened up their season with a 3-0 win against Niagara, but then they fall 3-0 to Conestoga in game number 2. St. Clair also played Conestoga. They fell 3-0, so a great start to the year. And that one goes wide. Point for the Falcons. 5-3 lead here in the first set. Colin Hutchison will take the serve. That one just a little too long. The Saints will take that. We can see some of the players from the St. Clair Saints women's team sitting far court there. They didn't have a regular season matchup tonight with the Falcons. They just took care of an exhibition game. I think a good way to get some practice here early in the season. I only caught the tail end, but it looked like the Saints came away with the win in that exhibition game by the women to start the night. Back-to-back points here for the Saints to tie it up at 5. Zach Walls takes the ball to serve. Played into the back, right up to the front there. Fake to Crowther. A nice tip, but recovered well. Over to Crowther, battle at the net. Soft hands. Crowther again, off of Walls. Oh, and what a kill! Arthur Richard, welcome to the game. He had a dominant performance against that 5-setter against Redeemer for St. Clair. 14 kills, 21 points. Arthur Richard feeling good to start the year. St. Clair up 6-5. Oh, and a great serve by Walls. Oh, and a hammer thrown down by Jacob Goldsmith. What a swing. We got a great matchup early here. Oliver Prentice puts the ball in play. Off the hands, and it's in. Back and forth we go early. Puts that one in play. Oh, what a block. It was a strong swing by Patterson, but St. Clair, they read the play well. They were ready for it. They had their scouting report in their back pocket. They know that the ball is going to go to Patterson on that left side a lot tonight. Oh, and a little bit of a floater there. Oh, and what a soft touch by Patterson. That is high volleyball IQ right there. Right after that last play where he went up and tried to drill it through the ground but got blocked, he goes, all right, I know they're ready for it. This time, just a soft little touch. Crowther back for the serve. Over to the far side. Oh, and a good heads-up play to just get it in the line. And am I seeing things right? I'm going to try and not do this a lot, but we got back-to-back home runs by the Blue Jays to start Game 5. Schneider and Guerrero. All right, let's try and not do that. I'll try and be professional. Back row, sending it over. Soft touch again, and it felt like that was a replay. Same spot, same side. Arthur Richard back to serve. 10-7 St. Clair leads in the first set here at Fanshawe College. Oh, and a great serve. It was a good effort by Carter Piddock to hit the deck just off his hands. And a cannon to the back row. That one just slightly out of bounds. (11-8) St. Clair leads. Goldsmith with the serve. Oh, and a strong hit there. Arthur Richard, keep your eye on number 4 all night tonight. He's already got 4 points early in this game. Oh, and a sneak attack there. St. Clair was ready for it. And a great recovery by the Falcons. Great set. Just couldn't get the clean shot off. And Zach Walls with the heads-up play. And we got an early timeout called by the Falcons as St. Clair opened up a 13-8 lead. Try and stop the bleeding early here. I will be back in one moment.
The first set is brought to you by the Fanshawe Alumni Association. The Alumni Association is a proud sponsor of Fanshawe Athletics.
Coming out of the timeout here, some OCAA men's volleyball action at the Glenn Johnston Athletic Center. The Falcons down early. They have been a home team since the start of last year. Like I said earlier, 14-4 last season, but they went 8-1 here at the Glenn Johnston Athletic Center. Already 1-0 this season as that serve sent into the net. A much needed point there by the Falcons. Tanner Patterson back to serve. And flying through the air. Off the hands, can they recover? Got to get it over here, free ball. Oh, and what a recovery to steal that point by the Saints. Running all the way to the back of the court to keep the ball alive and send the free ball over, and they steal a point. Patterson, soft touch again. And we got point for the Falcons there. Jacob Curtis. Oh, a little too wide, and that one hits off the antenna. Point for the Falcons. St. Clair still holding on to a lead here, 14-11 in the first set, as the Falcons try and claw their way back in. Curtis with the serve. Off the hands, and that one will sail out of bounds. 15-11, St. Clair. A 2-0 Jays game in the World Series. Oh, and a little bit of a miss hit there as that one goes wide. Cale Wilkinson kind of shaking his hand after that one. He's got his right hand wrapped up with some tape. I don't know if I missed that early, but I don't think I saw that at the beginning of the game. Maybe already a miss hit early that led to some discomfort, and you could see it on that serve. He was kind of shaking his hand. Colin Hutchison. A cannon, but just a little long. Zach Walls trying to extend the lead for the Saints. And what a serve! Ace, I think is what they call that one. And we got another timeout called here by the Falcons. Their second in the set. 17-12, St. Clair leads. Four points early for Arthur Richard. And Zach Walls, 4 points himself. Colin Hutchison leading the way with 3 for the Falcons. Saints with 3 aces so far. A couple of blocks, a great start to this first set. Oh, I was wrong. Correct that. 5 points for Walls, not 4 early here. Resume play here. Zach Walls continuing service. That one just a little wide. 17-13, Saints lead as the Falcons get that point. Oliver Prentice will serve. Just unnecessary service errors early in the game. That won't make either coach happy. It's like basketball. You got to make your free throws. In volleyball, got to get those serves in bounds. Off the hands. Can they keep it alive? Great play. Free ball sent over. From the back row. Blocked at the net. Oh, and a great block there by Crowther. He met him high at the top. Falcons down by 4 here in the first set. Can they claw their way back? After that block, Crowther says, "Give me the ball, I want to serve." Far side, and a great hit there by Richard. Richard with a cannon off the arms, and it goes back to the Saints. A battle up top. Oh, and how did he keep that in bounds? Oh, but it just goes off of the block, down onto the Falcons side of the net. 20-14 for the Saints as they take that point, inching closer to this first set win. Richard just wide. Another service error. Falcons down by 5. Goldsmith. Wilkinson didn't get all of it, but it'll still do the job. He's giggling in the huddle there, knowing that he didn't get his best swing on it, but sometimes it's not about how hard you hit it, it's about where you put it. Soft touch by Patterson. Desperation play there, keeps it alive. The Saints look for the kill, and they get it. 22-15 Saints lead.
Dominating for the Falcons, number 13, Ty Klassen.
Ty Klassen checking into the game for the Falcons. Oh, and just a little too far. Oh no, goes off hands. Ref calls fingertips. The Saints were celebrating. They didn't realize. Patterson reacted right away. He knew immediately. That one went off fingertips just slightly. 22-16 for the Saints. Long uphill climb for the Falcons to steal this one. Zach Waltz tries to put it in the hole. Soft touch, kept alive. Tried to get sneaky. I like the idea there by Sean Kennedy. Just didn't execute it. Falcons down by 5. Tanner Patterson. And another survey. Saints coach trying to kick the ball, and he completely missed it and almost fell over. I think he's lucky, though. I think that's just outside of our camera view here, so we didn't capture that one. And there is a strong strike by Oliver Prentice. 23-18 for the Saints. Jacob Curtis. Looking for Walls off the wall. Another great block and a good recovery by the Falcons there as Cale Wilkinson, the big man, was going up strong. Falcons down by 4. That one just a little too far back, trying to set up for the strong kill. Off the wall, out of bounds. We got a run by the Falcons here, 23-20, they trail. Curtis tries to keep the run going. Oh, and there's a good response by the Saints. I think that was Calvin Kett getting the point on that one. Set point here for the Saints, 24-20. Off the net. Oh, just awkwardly off the kind of the high hands there. Upper arm, high hands. What am I talking about? Oh, and just stays in there. The Falcons stay alive. Goldsmith coming back into the game. Ty Klassen heads to the bench. Colin Hutchison tries to keep it alive. Set point number 2 for the Saints. No, we had Cale Wilkinson talking to the ref about something there. Hutchison dribbles the ball. Strong serve, handled well, off the hands. And he let it go. It looked like for a second I thought he was going to touch it as it was heading out of bounds, but he wisely lets it go. First set victory for the Saints here at the Glenn Johnston Athletic Center. OCAA volleyball going on for Fanshawe and St. Clair. The sideshow tonight. I think a lot of you at home are probably keeping an eye on this Blue Jays game. Davis Schneider and Vladdy Guerrero go back to back to start the game.
The second set is brought to you by Domino's London. Domino's.
I wonder when the last time that happened in the World Series won. That can't be a common occurrence. But okay, back to professionalism. Volleyball, not baseball. Keep my head in the game. Both teams sitting at 1-1 to start the season. A little bit of a different look for the Falcons this year as we had a few of their strong players graduate last year. Zach Edmonds is gone. They still look like they got a decent team this year, though. Like I said earlier, Tanner Patterson, Oliver Prentice, Colin Hutchison, Jaden Crowther. Quite the, oh, I set myself up in a little bit of a hole there. Not a trio. What would that be? I'm going to stop. I'm going to give up before I say something I shouldn't. Saints with an excellent start. We will be back in just one moment. We got set number 2 just about to get underway after a strong first set by the Saints. They took a commanding lead early and never looked back. A couple times the Falcons got within about 3 or 4, but never closer than that. Saints put it away. And we are off, and it starts off with an ace by Arthur Richard. This guy has an unbelievable serve. Can he do it again? He tried to. Just a little bit too much juice on that one. Richard with 8 points and 2 aces already. Tanner Patterson. Off the hands at the net. That'll be point for the Saints there. Off the block and then off the hands of the Falcons player. And it hit the ground. 2-1 Saints lead. Jonas Sertasi back to serve. Oh, bit of an awkward play there. Curtis tried to keep it alive, but he hit it right into the face of Colin Hutchison. Everyone's okay. No friendships were lost. Sertasi. That one goes long. Hasn't come back to bite the Saints yet. As well as they've been doing serving, they've been making just as many service errors. Coach wants to see them clean that up. Strong off of the wall. Crowther is fired up after that one. It was set up well for Cale Wilkinson, but the Falcons read it like a book. Tied at 3 here in the second set. Saints up 1-0. Curtis with the serve. Wilkinson again, almost found the hole. Good enough. Off the hands and down, 4-3 Saints. And just a little long. Almost painted that back line there. Sean Kennedy putting his all into that one. Hutchison trying to give the Falcons the lead here in the second set. Off the hands 2 times in a row. And that'll be point for the Falcons. Strong hit. That one went off fingertips. 5-4 Falcons lead. Hutchison again. Almost the ace, but saved there. Free ball sent over. And a kill there by Jacob Goldsmith. 6-4 Falcons lead. It looks like the Falcons maybe are starting to feel it a little bit right now. Starting to get a little more hyped up than what we saw in the first set. Tried to go a little softer on that one, but right into the net. Point for the Saints. Again, another service error for the Saints. That looks like 11 service errors already for the Saints. Off of the tape, and it just bounces perfectly for Oliver Prentice. He's probably like, yeah, I totally did that on purpose. That's exactly how I drew it up. Again, off of the tape. but this one stays alive and right into the ground. A much needed point by the Saints there. Falcons up 8-6 in the second set. Zach Walls. That one is sent wide. 9-6 for the Falcons. Jaden Crowther. Far side here, Richard off of the block and out. Point for the Saints. Richard is having himself a great night so far. Serve here for Calvin Kett. And that one into the net. I sound like a broken record right now. It's easy on these volleyball serves to get aggressive. You try and go for an ace every time. But sometimes, and there's another service error by the Falcons this time. But sometimes you can take a little off of it and try and get it in a good spot. Even if the other team returns it, you try and control the point a little bit. Where can they return it from? And set up your defense accordingly. Far side off the block and in. Sean Kennedy. 10-9 for the Falcons after a couple points for the Saints. Arthur Richard. Strong serve. Barely kept alive by the Falcons. Off of the block and in. Jonas Sertasi. Tied at 10 here in the second set. St. Clair leads 1-0. Richard with another cannon. That one goes out. Falcons were looking for hands, but they didn't get any. Saints take a lead here, 11-10. Will do. Arthur Richard is fired up. We got a 5-0 St. Clair run happening right now. And that leads to a timeout for the Falcons. Much needed at that point in time. Again, as well as the Saints have been playing early, they got those 12 service areas. If they can clean up that part of their game the rest of the night, they are going to run away with this one. Falcons kind of struggling to put it together. They had a bit of a run, a bit of a good streak there to start the second set where it looked like they were getting their mojo going. But the Saints shut that down immediately. 10 points for Richard. 7 kills, 3 aces. He is leading the charge. Again, the Saints coming off of that long 5-setter against Redeemer. They grabbed their first win in their second game. They had all their players putting up numbers. I mean, if a game goes 5 sets, okay, yeah, there's going to be a lot of points to be had. But still, Richard with 21 points and 14 kills in that last game. He is on his way again here tonight. We resume play. That one takes a little bit off it to control it, and it works. That one just painted that far side there. 13-10, a 6-0 run. Richard again. Put a little more sauce on that one, and it goes wide. Tanner Patterson. Falcons down 13-11. Try to swing that momentum back in their favor. He puts that one in a good spot. Recovered well by the Saints off the block. And it stays on the Falcons side of the net. Point for the Saints. 14-11. Sertasi. Right into the net. Jacob Curtis will take his turn. Over to Walls, soft touch over the net. Hutchison. And Wilkinson, awkward off the hands. That one goes high into the light. And that will be a point for the Falcons. That was a four hits there by the Saints. 14-13 Saints lead. Curtis again for the serve. Walls. Far side and right into the ground. Oliver Prentice ties the second set at 14. He had the awareness to find the opening in the defense, and he put it right in that hole. Curtis again. Oh, and a sneaky play there by Crowther. What a heads-up play. The Falcons take the 15-14 lead here in the second set. Curtis. Far side, and what a response. Calvin Kett says, you guys are feeling yourself, you guys are going on a run, you know what, I'm going to stop that all by myself. 15-15. And he sends that one way too long. 16-15 Falcons lead. Hutchison will take the ball to serve. And he sends a cannon right into the net. Tied at 16. Back and forth we go. Wilkinson with that taped up right hand. A strong hit right towards the back line, but an even stronger response. Jacob Goldsmith. Prentice. Oh, and that one just played well. Calvin Kett saw that the defender was kind of off balance turning, and he just banked it right off of his ribs. Tied at 17. Walls. Can he give the Saints the lead? What a serve. Arthur Richard. This is my gym. We're on the road, but I own this house tonight. Arthur Richard is on fire. (18-17) Saints lead. Sorry, 19-17. No, think I'm crazy. I think it is 18-17. And right into the ground. Tied at 18. Correction there. It was never 19-17. Saints up 1-0 here. We are tied at 18 as these teams go back and forth. Crowther trying to give the Falcons the lead. Oh, a little bit of confusion there. The Falcons regroup. Patterson finds the back corner. He is the Falcons' all-time points leader for a reason. Sometimes you don't have to kill the ball. It's just about finding the opening. And that back corner was wide open on that one. (19-18) Falcons lead. Crowther again. Oh, just a little awkward by Wilkinson there. Wilkinson, pardon me. A little too far out in front of him, and he kind of had to reach for it. 20-18 for the Falcons. Great spot for that one. Over to Patterson, soft touch. Richard read it well, and that one sent a little too far outside, and that leads to a double hit. 21-18, Falcons have opened up a 3-point lead, and that leads to a St. Clair timeout here at the Glenn Johnston Athletic Center. Both these teams looking to go 2-1 with a win. We will be back in just a quick second. We resume the second set here at the Glenn Johnston Athletic Center. 21-18 Falcons lead as Crowther gets ready to serve. Float serve handled well. Richard finds the opening. His dominance continues. Make that 12 points on the night. And we're only in the second set. 21-19 for the Falcons as the Saints try and claw their way back. Ket, great serve. Curtis, far side, off of the block and out. Point for the Falcons. 22-19. We got Gustavo Aguiar checking into the game for the first time for the Falcons, I believe. The libero wearing the black, and that one painted the back line. What a serve, just gracefully floated through the air. Jacob Goldsmith getting the boys fired up with that one. Falcons lead 23-19. Trying to tie this thing up at one set apiece. They are 2 points away. It's always interesting at the start of the season for any sport with teams like this. You try and find your identity. How exactly do you play your strengths? What are your weaknesses? we've been seeing a little bit more where the Saints struggling with a bit of their service game. They're sitting at 15 service errors right now, where the Falcons, they're being a little bit more responsible with their serves. They're not trying to kill it. They're just sending some floaters over the net, putting it in the spot they want to try and control the play. And again, a great serve. That one almost hits the ceiling, but not this time. Patterson off the fingertips, kept alive. Richard blocked at the net. That's a double hit. Point for the Falcons, 24-19. We are at set point right now. Goldsmith trying to take set number 2 for the Falcons. Arthur Richard off the hands and out. Saints keep this second set going, and Richard will take the ball to serve. He's got 3 aces already tonight. And a cannon, but dug out perfectly. Patterson thought about killing it, but just gets it over. Off the block, Kett plays it. Sets it up back to Kett. He wasn't ready for it. Curtis from the back row. What a hit by Goldsmith. The Falcons take the second set, 25-20. We are tied 1 set apiece. What a match we got on our hands here tonight at the Glenn Johnston Athletic Center. After 2 sets, we take a break for a few minutes. Stay with us. I'm sure you're already doing it, but keep track of the Blue Jays game tonight. Back-to-back home runs to start the game. They are up 2-0. They try and take a 3-2 lead in the World Series. I am Dan McCracken. We will be back in just a few minutes.
Large pizza. We're giving away 2 large pizzas right now.
Set number 3 between the Falcons and Saints, tied at 1 apiece. And we started off with Goldsmith sending that one long. 1-0 Saints lead. Sertasi will take the ball. Ace, a little bit of confusion there. 3 Falcons players looking at each other like, hey, I thought you had it. No, I thought you were going to get it. Okay, none of us got it. 2-0 Saints. Sertasi again. Oh, and they say that painted the line. The Falcons players thought for sure that one was out. But the line judge says, no, no, no. That one was right on the line. 2 aces for Sertasi to start this set. And Patterson smacks the ball. And Hutchison does it even better. Colin Hutchison. Tanner Patterson, the Falcons' all-time leader in kills and points. Walls. Oh, and that one will go for the Saints. Couldn't tell if that one got fingertips or not. It did not. 4-1 Saints lead. And that one is long, just a little wide. Falcons down 4-2, tied at 1 set apiece. Curtis has done a good job serving so far tonight. Oh, and again, both the Falcons players heading in opposite directions there. Caught them off balance right between them. Wilkinson. And that one goes wide again. More and more of what we've been seeing tonight. Saints trying to clean up some of these service errors. Hutchison. Right into the net. (6-3) Saints lead. Walls will take the ball. The high fly and jump serve of his. He got all of that one. Can he do it again? He tried to, but that one into the net. Point for the Falcons. 7-4 St. Clair leads. We are tied 1 set apiece. Prentice sends that one into the net. Ket. Puts it in play. Faked it to Crowther, off the hands and out. Goldsmith just destroyed that ball. Crowther, he takes it. Way back there, way out of the camera shot. He just floats it over. Arthur Richard off the hands and out. They are going to try and just keep feeding him. He will take the ball to serve. This guy has got a cannon of a serve. Can he find the soft spot? They were ready for it. Goldsmith off the block and down. 10-5 Saints lead. And we got a timeout called by the Falcons. They try and stop the bleeding. Tied at 1 set apiece. Blue Jays holding on to a 2-1 lead in the World Series. Trey Savage, 6 strikeouts through 3 innings. We resume the third set here, tied at 1. 10-5 Saints lead this third set. Colin Hutchison going over, talking to the referee. Yeah, he went and relayed a message over to the Falcons coach. Now we're set to play. Arthur Richard. I don't know how you can contain that cannon. It's hard to control the ball when it's coming at you at 200 miles an hour. It's probably a bit of an exaggeration, but it seems like it's going that fast. Can he do it again? 11-5, Saints lead. He can do it again, but this time handled well. Goldsmith. Over to Richard, off the block and down. Tanner Patterson met him at the top. He says, no, no, no. Goldsmith. Oh, and a great spot found there by Jonas Sertasi. 12-6 Saints lead. Sertasi for the serve. Just gets it over. Couldn't get all of it on that one. And Sean Kennedy wins the battle at the top there. He's got hops on him. Saints widening their lead, 13-6. That one sails just long. Falcons players shouting out to each other, letting each other know, let it sail. Tanner Patterson. He puts his all into that one, and that's an ace. Just what the Falcons needed. Patterson tries to do it again. Off the tape and off of the ceiling. Count that one as another ace. 13-9. Oh, just long. Calvin Kett had to fall backwards out of the way to make sure he didn't make contact with that one. That's a good heads-up play. Sean Kennedy off the tape, recovered well. Curtis, Oliver Prentice gets it over as a free ball. Zach Walls off the hands and down. Just when you think the Falcons are getting some momentum, a couple quick points by the Saints to regain that 6-point lead. Sean Kennedy. Curtis over to Prentice, off the hands and out of bounds. Point for the Falcons. 15-10 for the Saints. Jaden Crowther coming back into the game. Curtis tries to swing the momentum back. Over to Calvin Kett, off the hands, out of bounds. Point for the Saints. Goldsmith comes out. Piddock comes in for the Falcons. There's Wilkinson. Oh, and what a swing by Jaden Crowther. He went all the way around the world on that one. Put it through the floor. 16-11 for the Saints. Colin Hutchison. Just a little wide on that one. 17-11 Saints lead. Zach Walls. An absolute rocket. Richard. Have we heard that name yet tonight? I think we have. A cannon off of the block, out of bounds, point for the Saints, and that leads to another timeout by the Falcons as the Saints keep holding on to that big lead. They're up 18-11, tied one set apiece as they try and go up 2-1. It's getting to the point where the Falcons trying to figure out how to handle the play of the Saints. We resume the third set here at the Glenn Johnston Athletic Center. Saints trying to run away with this third set to take a 2-1 lead. Zach Walls dribbles the ball. He gets ready to serve. Off the tape. Crowther recovers. Soft touch and played perfectly by Oliver Prentice. Falcons down by 6. Prentice will take the ball. Falcons serve. Oh, Calvin Kett tries to get it in, and he does. Oh, no, he doesn't. Oh, I thought they called that in, but they did not. 18-13, Saints lead. Much needed point there by the Falcons. Calvin Kett again. Hutchison keeps it alive. Patterson just barely gets it over. And Sertasi went up high, flying through the air, and he finds the opening. 19-13 Saints lead after that point. Calvin Kett trying to make it a 7-point lead yet again, and he cannot, puts it right into the net. Falcons down by 5. And Crowther. Oh, and that one, Sean Kennedy trying to be sneaky, but looks like he went over the net on that one as he reached his arm just a little too far. You can't reach into mama's cookie jar like that. And that one sent long by Crowther. Those service areas, they can be a rally killer in a moment like that. 20-15 Saints lead. Arthur Richard with that missile just barely misses the ceiling. Patterson off the block and out. Point for the Falcons. 5 years at the Falcons for Patterson. His final season. A historic career. He leads the Falcons franchise history with over 666 points. He leads the team history in kills. He is showing us why. Well, Wilkinson met up top. Sertasi, but handled well. Kept alive. Patterson. The Saints, Calvin Kett off the tape. Dug. Oh, what a recovery by Patterson. Calvin Kett again, and he ducks out of the way. What a play by Oliver Prentice. Heads up play to duck out of the way and let it go wide. Falcons down by 3, trying to claw their way back into this one. Sent too far. Colin Hutchison, oh my goodness. That volleyball has a family. What did it just do to deserve that punishment? A big rally here by the Falcons. They are down by just 2 points now. A 7-2 run by the Falcons to claw their way back in. They still got work to do though. We resumed this entertaining third set between the Fanshawe Falcons and the St. Clair Saints. And that one just stays in. The Falcons, they're not happy. They were right there. They think it was out, but the line judge says no. A much needed point by the Saints. 21-18 they lead. We're tied at 1 set apiece. Wilkinson. Over to kept alive. Walls with an absolute cannon. That was one of the shortest swings I have seen. He didn't go all the way back. He went sneak attack quick. And it worked perfectly off of the shoulder of the Falcon. 22-18 for the Saints. Sertasi. Oh, sneak attack doesn't work. Not this time. Soft touch, but too soft by Tanner Patterson. A 3-0 run by the Saints as they inch closer to taking this third set. Oh, from the back row. Prentice couldn't get all of it, a little too far out front. And a great swing there by Wilkinson. Looked like it maybe got fingertips and just deflected out of the reach. Set point for St. Clair. Sertasi, can he put it away? Behind the back, Patterson. That one got fingertips as it went long. Point for the Falcons. (24-19). Set point number 2 for the Saints. Patterson. That's not what he was looking for. That will do it. 25-19. The Saints take the third set. They lead 2-1, heading to set number 4 as they look to put this one away. Arthur Richard leading the way for the Saints. 16 points, 12 kills. Walls, he's putting up 10 points, having himself a night. We are ready for set number 4 here at Fanshawe College. St. Clair Saints up 2-1. Saints are 1-1 on the year. Falcons are 1-1 on the year. That one sent just a little too long by Arthur Richard, who has had a great night so far leading the charge for the Saints. The Saints, they are just coming off a 5-setter against Redeemer. The Falcons trying to make it back-to-back 5-setters for the Saints. Strong hit as that one flies over the scorer's table. Tied at 1 after Cale Wilkinson got all of that one. Sertossi way out of screen, getting ready for the serve. Off the tape. Oh, just an awkward behind the back hit there. Oh, and Oliver Prentice, he got major air on that one. What a swing. 2-1 Falcons here in the 4th set. Curtis gets it in play. Walls way up high. The gentle touch. Point for the Saints. Oh, Prentice yelled out thinking it was going long. Piddock read it well though, noticed that it was going to go in, so he tried to save it. But the Saints still hold on. They take a 3-2 lead. Another great serve. And that one goes wide. Point for the Falcons. And we got Evan Kirkpatrick into the game at the front row there for the Falcons. Gustavo Aguiar in as the libero, wearing the black shirt for the Falcons. Oh, awkward, just hits off of the pole in front of the referee. 4-3 Falcons. Tanner Patterson trying to make it a 2-point lead in the 4th set. Just floats that one into the net. Wilkinson trying to give the Saints the lead. And Zach Walls, he is an animal. He read that that one was going a little too high, a little too far for the Falcons, and he pounced on the opportunity. And that one, just too long by big boy Wilkinson. He is a big, strong man. It looks like he took that tape off of his right hand, whatever he was feeling is feeling better, or if he just went, this is uncomfortable. I don't want to wear this. Calvin Kett off the hands and out. That was played very well by Calvin Kett. The set was a little too far behind him, off balance, and he still got a great shot. Walls getting ready to fly through the air. Right into the net. Has 23 service errors to go along with 9 aces for the Saints. 6-6 tie here. And Crowther with the response. Doesn't let that ball get far past the net. He just puts it right into the ground to give the Falcons a 7-6 lead. Oh, and a great dig by Goldsmith. Curtis gets it over, free ball. And Calvin Kett, he is feeling himself right now. 7-7 tie here in the fourth. Saints up 2-1. Looking for their second win on this young season. Over to Prentice, off the block. Sean Kennedy with his hand in the air like, boys, that was all me. High fives all around. 8-7 Saints lead. Calvin Kett still with the ball. Way long on that one. He waves. Yeah, I know. I shouldn't have put that much sauce on it. Oliver Prentice. Sends that one wide. Over to Patterson. Richard. Got to get the free ball over. Wilkinson does. Looking for Crowther. Nope. Tanner Patterson blocked at the net. Oh, and the ref blows the whistle. One of the Saints players went under the net. That'll be a point for the Falcons. Saints looked a little frustrated on that one. Jaden Crowther with the serve, tied at 9 here, set number 4. Now, awkward play there. Another shot at it. Crowther gives him the free ball. From the back row, Richard gets all of it, but Kirkpatrick meets him at the net with the huge block to give the Falcons a 10-9 lead. Falcons need to take this set to force it to a 5th and final set. That'll be point for the Falcons after a double hit there. Sean Kennedy knew he did it as soon as it got off his hands. Crowther. With the float serve. Over to Patterson, off the block. From the back row, Goldsmith off the tape. Kept alive by the Saints. Calvin Kett. And that one, that got fingertips. It looked like it was going long, but the Falcons took a swing at it to try and keep it in and just barely got a piece. They'd like to have that one back. Sertasi. Off the tape and out. Point for the Falcons. Curtis back for the serve. He's got 25 assists on the day as the main setter. Wilkerson tries to get all of it. He did, but it went right into the tape. And we got a timeout called by the Saints as the Falcons open up a 3-point lead, 13-10, here in set number 4. Patterson with 10 points so far, 7 kills. Prentice with 9 points, 8 kills. And even Jacob Goldsmith, he's having a good day too. 8 points, 7 kills. But the main star of the match, Mr. Arthur Richard himself, 16 points. And that coming off of his game against Redeemer where he put up 21. A great battle at the Glenn Johnston Athletic Center here at Fanshawe College on this, the night where the Blue Jays are trying to take a 3-2 lead in the World Series. 32 years since the Blue Jays won their 2nd straight championship. Much of Canada cheering on the Blue Jays. But right now we got volleyball to take care of. Curtis. Walls off the fingers. A scrambly play there. Falcons just couldn't handle it as the ball bounced around. Sean Kennedy, his turn to serve. Kirkpatrick went up high, got his all into it, but a perfect wall built at the net. Back-to-back points for the Saints here out of the timeout. Just what coach was looking for. Just a little wide, looked like it curved just at the last second and avoided the line. 14-12 Falcons. Tanner Patterson. With a rocket. Richard was able to handle it though. And a bit of an awkward step there from Wilkinson. Looks like he's okay though. Whether it was the plant foot that he jumped with or the other one that he landed with, it just looked a little uncomfortable. 3-point lead for the Falcons. And a smack of the ball by Patterson. Calvin Kett off the hands of Goldsmith and out. Point for the Saints. Wilkinson. Oh, and he ducks out of the way. Heads up play by Carter Pittock to let that one go long. Those are the ones where you just hold your breath, you duck, and you go, please, please, let me be right about this one. Evan Kirkpatrick. Floater. Over to Arthur Richard off the fingertips. Set to Oliver Prentice right in the hole. He snipes that opening. 4-point Falcons lead. 17-13. They trail 2 sets to 1. Kirkpatrick again. Just the soft little floater. Zach Walls puts it through the ground and it is in. 17-14. Falcons lead after that point for the Saints. Zach Walls Oh my goodness, Jonas Sertasi. Check that volleyball. It might have a hole in it after that one. 2-point Falcons lead. The Saints trying to erase that deficit. Oh, Falcons players collide, but they keep it alive. Now Arthur Richard got up, but it looked like he touched the net, and that will be the call by the ref. 18-15 Falcons after that mistake. Oh, it handcuffs Wilkinson. Carter Kett handcuffed Patterson. Point for the Saints. That's Calvin Kett. It's a name where I feel like I have to say both names. It feels weird just saying Kett. Calvin Kett with the serve. Off Crowther, off the foot, and down. Calvin Kett trying to show off his soccer skills, but just couldn't get enough of it. Back to a 3-point lead for the Falcons. 19-16. And we got Andrew Smith checking into the game for the Falcons. Prentice with the serve. Blocked at the net. Oh, and what a swing by Sean Kennedy. A huge opening at the back line, and he finds it. That was a quick appearance for Andrew Smith. He goes right back to the bench as Jacob Curtis comes back in. Arthur Richard loading the gun. Unloads. Patterson sends the free ball over. Wilkinson with the one hand. Tanner Patterson off the block. They keep it alive. Calvin Kett. What a swing. Celebrates that one in style. The Saints bench is loving that. 19-18 Falcons lead. Can they hold on here in the fourth set? Saints up 2-1. Arthur Richard. Patterson off the block and down. Point for the Saints. Big man Sertasi doing his job at the net, and we got a timeout called by the Falcons. The Saints, they are fired up right now. We will take a short break and be right back. Tied at 19 here in the fourth set. This feels like a big turning point in the game. The Saints lead 2-1. Trying to put this away, and he sends it long. That won't help as the Falcons take the lead. Jaden Crowther. Wilkinson off the block. It stays in bounds. Point for the Falcons. Crowther trying to make it a 3-point lead. Patterson thought he had an opening, but he just mishits it and sends it out of bounds. Point for the Saints to bring it back to 21-20. Sertossi. A cannon. Tanner Patterson off the block and down. Point Falcons 22-20. Curtis. Oh, and it was a free ball. Accidentally set over. Goldsmith couldn't handle it. And Wilkinson takes advantage of the mistake. 22-21 Falcons lead. Sean Kennedy with the serve, trying to tie it up. Just handled there by Patterson. Over to Goldsmith, and he rockets it right off of the chest of Sean Kennedy. Sometimes you try to find the opening. Sometimes you just imagine a target right at the center of the chest of the defender, and you try and hit that target square. 2-point Falcons lead. Patterson hits it right into the net. Saints down by 1. A sub here for the Saints. Sahil Bardwaj checking into the game to serve. Looks like he might have one job. Try and get this to a tie game at 23. And he does a good job of it. I think it's safe to say that he might be a team favorite among the players. The Saints bench going crazy after that one. We even got the St. Clair women's volleyball team sitting on the far side as we get a timeout called, tied at 23. The bench still celebrating with Bardwaj. What a moment that was. Tied at 23 here in the fourth set. The Saints lead 2-1. They are trying to end this game here in this set. Bardwaj again, and another perfect serve. Saints 24-23. Game point here. These St. Clair Saints players are going to absolutely explode if Bardwaj does it again. With the serve, off the net. Falcons keep it alive. And Goldsmith with the response. Tied at 24. We will play until at least 26. Bardwaj checks out of the game to a huge round of applause by the Saints players on the bench. Kirkpatrick, can he give the Falcons the lead? Richard mishits it into the net. 25-24 Falcons. Set point for the Falcons. Can they tie this game up 2 sets apiece? Huge point coming up here. Kirkpatrick floats it over the net, and it's mishit again by Arthur Richard. The Falcons take set number 4, 26-24. What a turn of events. It looked like the Magic Man, Sahil Bardwaj, came into the game and flipped this game over. Saints were knocking on the door of putting this thing away. But a quick 3 points in a row by the Falcons. A couple mistakes by the man who's been dominating this game, Arthur Richard. We go to a 5th set as we have the coin toss happening at half court here. We are nearing the 2-hour mark of this game as we head to set number 5. I assume most know, but for those who don't know at home, the 5th set is a race to 15 points. It's still win by 2, but we're not going to 25. They shorten it a bit. 15 is the magic number. I'll do my quick fill for the Jays game. 3-1 Jays lead, bottom 6. Trey Savage still in the game, taking on Shohei Ohtani, Mr. Baseball himself. Davis Schneider and Vladdy Guerrero with back-to-back home runs to start off the party for the Blue Jays. Try and hold on and take a 3-2 lead in the World Series. As Addison Barger with the diving catch. All right, I'll stop. We're here for volleyball, not baseball, Dan. Keep it together. We head to set number 5. Looking for a winner. A couple costly mistakes by Arthur Richard at the end of that 4th set. Will the Falcons be able to take advantage? Richard still having a great game. 16 points, 12 kills. Calvin Kett had a dominant 4th set there. He's climbed all the way up to 13 kills. We got Patterson at 11 points, Goldschmidt and Prentice at 10. Saints get first serve. The man himself, Arthur Richard, and he sends it straight into the net. Falcons 1, Saints nothing. 3 errors in a row by Mr. Richard going back to 4th set. Crowther trying to make it a 2-0 lead. Head over to Wilkinson off the hands of Goldschmidt, and it goes long, 1-1 in the 5th set. Sertasi. Patterson off the block, inbounds. What a play by the Saints there to take a 2-1 lead. Sertasi tries it again. And he hits that one right into the net. That's 30 service errors on the night for the Saints. That, I think, will be a point of emphasis in the next practice after this game for the Saints. Patterson. Over to Calvin Kett off the block. The Saints keep it alive. Zach Walls. We got a rally going here. Just barely misses the ceiling. Calvin Kett sends it over. Get your stopwatches out. Off the block, and it stays on the Saints side of the net. That's a point for the Falcons. What a rally. (3-2) Falcons. Jacob Curtis. Wilkinson tried the soft touch. Goldsmith. And they call that a lift. Goldsmith frustrated after that one. Tied at 3, Saints serve. Goldsmith with the response, off the block and out. Falcons take a 4-3 lead. Patterson with the serve. A rocket off the hands, into the ceiling, point for the Falcons. 5-3 lead. That one way long by Patterson to keep the Saints in it. They are down 5-4. What a 5-setter we got. Saints took the first set 25-21. Falcons took the second. The Saints the third, and then the Falcons took 4 to force 5. And that one goes long, or wide I should say. Now we're tied at 5. 5-5 in the 5th set. Put your 5s in the air. Wilkinson to take the lead. Curtis over to Oliver Prentice, and he finds the big opening right in the middle. Perfect strike there for Prentice. 6-5 Falcons. Kirkpatrick trying to make it a 2-point lead. Sends the floater. Arthur Richard with the soft touch. And the Falcons hit the net there. That's a point for St. Clair. Zach Walls. Walls puts it in play, dug out. Curtis over to Prentice. Can they keep it alive? They can't. Just out of the reach of Goldsmith as the Saints take a 7-6 lead. Zach Walls trying to do it again. Off the tape. Goldsmith off the block. And down, point for the Saints. And we switch sides here as we reach the halfway point of this fifth set. What a night of volleyball. All the way to set number 5, we go back and forth. The Saints looking for their second win, but the Falcons, they are also looking for their second win. Both teams putting up a strong fight. We got the referee at the scorer's table sorting something out. Looks like we're good to go. Zach Wall's taking his time. Off the hands of Crowther. Curtis, quick hit by Crowther, but played well. Set to Prentice, kept alive. Zach Walls off the block of Crowther. Body's hitting the floor. Kept alive again. Goldsmith off the block. It's down, but somehow Sertosi keeps it alive, and the Falcons come away with the point. What a rally as Goldsmith gets it done. Falcons down by 1, 8-7 here in the fifth set. Goldsmith. Sertosi just barely missed. It looked like maybe it kissed the ceiling, but it doesn't get called. Sertosi says, it doesn't matter. I'm going to put it through the ground and still make sure we get the point. Ty Klassen coming into the game for the Falcons. 9-7 Saints lead. Calvin Kett with the serve. Huge serve. Oliver Prentice sends it wide. 10-7 Saints lead in the fifth set. We got a timeout called by the Falcons. Can they stay alive? Falcons with a quick turnaround. They got a game against Sheridan coming up in Sheridan this Saturday. And then they've got about 11 days off until they get a rematch in St. Clair on the 12th. That should be an entertaining game. Calvin Kett tries to make it a 4-point lead for the Saints. Curtis over to Prentice, off the hands and out of bounds. Point for the Falcons to stop the rally. They need another one. Prentice will head back for the serve, but first Andrew Smith coming into the game for Jacob Curtis. Oliver Prentice. Arthur Richard off the block. Saints keep it alive. Richard with the soft touch this time. Patterson gets it over the wall, but couldn't find the opening. Off the hands and out. Point for the Saints. 11-8, they lead.
Man, for the Falcons, number 2, Jake Curtis.
Arthur Richard, 18 points on the day. Over to Patterson. Ket keeps it alive. Curtis to Patterson again, off the block and down. What a play by Sertasi. 12-8 St. Clair. They inch closer to taking this game. And another timeout called by the Falcons. They are just barely hanging on right now. (12-8) Saints lead here in the 5th and deciding set. They are on a roll right now. It seems like nothing can stop them. Arthur Richard. Up top, a battle at the net, but that'll do the job for the Falcons. Not exactly how you draw it up, but you'll take them any way you can get them right now. They are down by 3, 12-9. Crowther. Free ball. Patterson gets the kill. Had a huge moment for the Falcons. 12-10. Saints lead. And those back-to-back points, that leads to a St. Clair timeout. Both coaches know every point is crucial right now. Everyone tries to regroup. Falcons down by 2, 12-10 here in the 5th set. Crowther looking for 3 in a row for the Falcons. Over to Patterson again. He looks for the back corner and he gets it. Arthur Richard dives, hits it into the ceiling. Falcons down by 1, and just like that, another timeout. That will be the final timeout left for either coach. 12-11, Saints lead. They were up by 4, but 3 in a row by the Falcons. What a gutsy performance by these Falcons players. The Saints, they have been building a wall all night at the net. They got 16 total blocks. When you got that combination of big boys Sertasi and Wilkinson at the net, sometimes it can feel impossible to get the ball around them. But the Falcons have been finding a way. Can they pull the rabbit out of the hat? Jaden Crowther trying to make it 4 in a row to tie it up. Pivotal point here. Wilkinson off the block and down. We got a tie game here in the 5th set. 12-12. Falcon fans in the building exploding after that one. Crowther again. Can he do it? Back over to Wilkinson again. Off the block. Down. 5 in a row by the Falcons. They take the lead. 13-12. Can they do it here at the Glenn Johnston Athletic Center at Fanshawe College? Jaden Crowther. Oh, kept alive at the net. Patterson, soft touch, just couldn't find the spot. Wilkinson off the hands. Gotta get it over here. Patterson does. Wilkinson off the block again. Wilkinson. And that was a net violation there by the Falcons at a crucial moment. 13-13 in set number 5. Patterson off the block, but it goes out of bounds. Falcons take the 14-13 lead. We got match point for the Falcons. Goldsmith checks back into the game. We got Jacob Curtis serving for the game. He gets it over. Walls, and he finds the hole. Oliver Prentice swung for it, but he missed. Swing and a miss, tied again at 14. Win by 2, like always in volleyball. And a huge, huge kill there. 15-14. Falcons lead. Tanner Patterson showing off. Patterson. Good dig. Saints need this. Free ball sent over. Goldsmith kept alive. Prentice, and he finds the hole! The Falcons do it! 16-14. They pull off the comeback. They were down 2 sets to 1. Even in this 5th set, the Saints took a 12-8 lead. And the Falcons claw their way back. 16-14. What a game for the Falcons. They move to 2-1 on the season. St. Clair, they fall to 1-2, but they shouldn't hang their heads. That was a great performance all around. Arthur Richard with a huge game. Zach Walls with a big game. 2 2 hours and 15 minutes after this game has started, the Falcons come away with a gutsy win. Now, we can watch the rest of the Blue Jays try and take a 3-2 lead in the World Series. My name is Dan McCracken. I'm sorry for talking so much about the Blue Jays, but I couldn't help it. Thank you for joining us. We will be back. Have a good night.